Everyone believes they understand why people act the way they do. But the truth is, the mind follows hidden rules. We often think we're in control, but what if our thoughts, actions, and emotions are influenced by deeper forces? Let's uncover some psychology facts that reveal the mystery behind human behavior. 1. Your brain is wired to focus on what's missing. Humans have a natural tendency to focus on gaps or things that are missing. This is a survival mechanism developed over thousands of years. Our ancestors needed to spot what was absent, whether it was food, water, or danger, so they could act quickly. Even today, your brain gravitates toward what's not there, which is why you often notice the things you're lacking rather than the things you have. This focus on scarcity can influence everything from relationships to career goals. 2. You're more likely to trust people who are similar to you. Whether it's shared interests, values, or even appearance, humans tend to trust those who are similar to themselves. This tendency, known as similarity attraction, has evolutionary roots. In ancestral times, people who shared common traits or beliefs were more likely to work together and survive. Today, this trust can affect everything from friendships to business partnerships, with people more likely to choose individuals they feel are like them in some way. 3. Your memory isn't as reliable as you think. Memories are not like video recordings. They are constantly being edited and rewritten. Each time you recall a memory, your brain can alter the details based on your current emotions, beliefs, or external influences. This is why eyewitness testimonies can be unreliable and why we often misremember key details from our past. In fact, false memories can be implanted by suggestion, meaning what you remember might not be what actually happened. 4. People are more likely to follow the crowd than stand out. Social pressure plays a huge role in how we behave. The fear of being judged or excluded often leads people to conform to group norms. This is why, even if you don't agree with something, you might find yourself going along with it when everyone else is. This tendency, known as social conformity, ensures social cohesion but can also lead to poor decision-making, as individuals may ignore their own judgment in favor of fitting in. 5. When you're stressed, your brain can shrink. Long-term stress can have serious effects on the brain. The stress hormone cortisol, when produced in excess, can shrink areas of the brain that are responsible for memory and emotional regulation. This is why chronic stress can make it harder to focus, remember things, and manage emotions. The brain literally changes shape under prolonged stress, which is why it's so important to find ways to manage stress effectively. 6. The color red can make you more attractive. Studies have shown that people are subconsciously drawn to the color red, especially when it comes to attraction. This isn't just about clothing. Red can increase your perceived attractiveness in a variety of contexts. The color signals dominance and sexual availability in the animal kingdom, and humans have evolved to respond similarly. So, wearing red can make you appear more attractive to others, whether you're aware of it or not. 7. Your body language speaks louder than words. The way you carry yourself can communicate much more than what you say. Nonverbal communication, like posture, facial expressions, and eye contact, can convey confidence, openness, or even anxiety. In fact, studies have shown that people are more likely to judge your overall mood based on your body language than your words. So, the next time you're talking to someone, be aware that your body may be telling them more than you realize. 8. The mere presence of others can make you perform better. This is known as the audience effect. When people are watching, we tend to perform better, whether it's a sports event or a work presentation. The pressure of being observed activates the brain's fight-or-flight system, which boosts focus and energy. This effect is why athletes often excel when playing in front of a crowd and why people may feel more motivated or energetic when others are around. 9. Decision fatigue can affect your judgment. Every decision you make takes a mental toll, even if it doesn't seem like it. The more decisions you face throughout the day, the more your ability to make good choices deteriorates. This is called decision fatigue. After a long day of making choices, your brain becomes tired and less able to think critically. This is why many people find it harder to make decisions in the evening, and why successful people often limit their decisions by sticking to routines. 10. Fear can make you more focused. When you're scared, your brain goes into high alert, releasing adrenaline and cortisol. This heightened state of arousal can improve your focus and reaction time. It's why people sometimes perform better under pressure or when they are in a stressful situation. The body's natural response to fear is to sharpen the senses and prepare for action, which can lead to greater performance in the right circumstances. 11. People tend to overestimate their own abilities. Known as the Dunning-Kruger effect, this cognitive bias explains how people with low ability in a certain area tend to overestimate their skills. This happens because they lack the knowledge to recognize their own shortcomings. It's why some people believe they're experts in areas where they are actually novices. On the flip side, experts tend to underestimate their abilities because they are more aware of the complexities involved. 12. Music can change your mood instantly. Have you ever heard a song that instantly made you feel happy or energized? Music has a powerful effect on our emotions. Listening to music you enjoy activates the brain's reward centers, releasing dopamine and other feel-good chemicals. Whether it's calming classical music or an upbeat pop song, music can alter your mood almost instantly, making it a great tool for improving your emotional state. 13. Your brain is more creative when you're tired. It sounds counterintuitive, but when you're tired, your brain's filters loosen. This can lead to more creative thinking. When you're mentally exhausted, your brain isn't as rigid in its thought patterns, which allows for new ideas to slip through. That's why some of the best ideas often come late at night or when you're feeling a bit worn out. Your mind becomes more flexible and open to unconventional solutions. 14. People are more likely to remember negative experiences. It's a well-known fact that negative experiences have a stronger emotional impact than positive ones. This is because the brain is wired to prioritize threats and dangers to ensure survival. Negative memories, therefore, tend to be more vivid and enduring. While happy moments fade, the unpleasant ones are often deeply etched into our memories, which is why people tend to dwell more on criticism than praise. 15. The act of helping others can make you happier. There's a reason people feel good when they help others. Acts of kindness trigger the release of oxytocin, the love hormone, which boosts feelings of happiness and well-being. Helping others not only benefits them, but it also activates areas of the brain associated with reward and pleasure, making you feel good in return. Whether it's volunteering, helping a friend, or even just giving someone a compliment, it's all linked to positive emotions. 16. Multitasking makes you less efficient. Despite the belief that multitasking is a useful skill, studies show that it actually makes you less efficient. When you switch between tasks, your brain has to reset each time, which slows you down. The constant switching leads to a decrease in productivity and can cause mental exhaustion. Focusing on one task at a time is much more effective and leads to better results in the long run. 17. Your phone can make you feel lonely. Constantly checking your phone can actually make you feel more isolated. Social media, while connecting you to others, can create a sense of loneliness by highlighting the gaps between your life and the lives of others. The comparison to idealized images and experiences on social platforms can trigger feelings of inadequacy and disconnection. Ironically, the more you turn to your phone for social interaction, the more disconnected you may feel from the world around you. 18. Your brain loves a good routine. Humans thrive on routine. When you follow a consistent routine, your brain becomes more efficient at managing tasks and making decisions. This reduces decision fatigue and helps you maintain mental clarity throughout the day. Routines help conserve mental energy by automating certain actions, freeing up brain power for more important tasks. 19. The placebo effect shows the power of belief. The placebo effect demonstrates the incredible influence belief can have on your body. When patients are given a fake treatment but believe it's real, they often experience actual improvements in their condition. The brain, convinced that it's receiving a real treatment, triggers the body's healing mechanisms. This shows just how powerful the mind is when it comes to health and well-being. 20. Your brain can adapt to nearly anything. The human brain is incredibly adaptable. Whether it's learning a new language, adjusting to a new environment, or recovering from injury, the brain has an amazing ability to rewire itself. This neuroplasticity allows us to grow, change, and recover throughout our lives, proving that no matter how old you are, your brain is capable of learning new things. 21. People who laugh at dark humor are often more resilient. Laughing at dark humor, especially in difficult or traumatic situations, is often a sign of emotional resilience. It's a coping mechanism that helps people navigate pain and suffering. Those who find humor in the darkness tend to process their emotions in a healthier way, using laughter as armor against the harshness of reality. While it may seem unsettling to some, this type of humor can be a vital tool for surviving difficult experiences. 22. You are more likely to conform in groups. Humans are social creatures, and in a group setting, it's easy to be influenced by the behaviors and opinions of others. This tendency, known as peer pressure, causes people to conform to group norms, even if they don't agree with them. The desire to fit in and avoid social rejection is so strong that it can override personal beliefs. Understanding this behavior can help you resist unnecessary conformity and stay true to your own values. 23. People who are constantly busy might be avoiding their emotions. Some people fill their schedules with activities as a way to avoid confronting difficult emotions. Staying busy provides a distraction, keeping the mind occupied and preventing it from processing uncomfortable feelings like sadness, fear, or anxiety. While this can seem like a productive way to cope, it often leads to burnout and emotional exhaustion. Learning to sit with your emotions and give yourself space to process them is crucial for mental well-being. 24. Your first impressions are often right. Research has shown that the initial judgment you make about someone, based on their appearance, body language, or demeanor, is often accurate. Within seconds of meeting someone, your brain forms an opinion about them, and while these snap judgments can be influenced by biases, they are surprisingly often correct. This quick decision-making process is based on thousands of years of evolutionary survival instincts, helping humans quickly assess potential threats or allies. 5. Being in nature can improve your mental health. Spending time in nature has been shown to reduce stress, anxiety, and depression. Whether you're taking a walk through a park, hiking in the woods, or simply sitting by a body of water, nature helps to calm the mind. The natural world has a soothing effect on the brain, and research shows that exposure to green spaces can improve mood, boost creativity, and increase feelings of well-being. 26. People are more likely to remember negative experiences. The brain is hardwired to prioritize negative experiences over positive ones. This phenomenon, known as the negativity bias, helped our ancestors survive by keeping them alert to potential dangers. Today, it means that negative events, such as criticism or failure, are remembered more vividly than positive experiences. While this bias is useful in some situations, it can also cause people to dwell on negative experiences rather than focusing on the positive. 27. Your brain can get addicted to social media. Social media platforms are designed to trigger the release of dopamine, the same feel-good chemical released when we eat chocolate or receive praise. This creates a cycle of reward and craving, making it easy to become addicted to checking your phone for likes, comments, or new notifications. Over time, this constant stimulation can reduce your attention span and lead to feelings of anxiety and isolation when not engaged with your online world. 28. People tend to make decisions based on emotions, not logic. Although humans like to think of themselves as logical beings, our emotions play a huge role in decision-making. Emotional responses often override logical reasoning, leading people to make choices based on how they feel rather than what makes the most sense. This is why marketing, advertising, and persuasive communication often focus on eliciting emotional responses. They can guide people to make decisions they might not otherwise make. 29. People are attracted to symmetrical faces. Studies have shown that humans find symmetrical faces more attractive than asymmetrical ones. This is believed to be due to evolutionary factors. Symmetry is often a sign of good health and genetic fitness. The brain processes symmetrical faces more easily, which may explain why they are perceived as more appealing. This preference for symmetry can also be seen in art, design, and even in the natural world. 30. You're more likely to remember faces than names. The brain is much better at recognizing faces than remembering names. This is because face recognition has been crucial for human survival, helping our ancestors identify friends, allies, and potential threats. The brain processes faces in a specialized region, making it easier to remember someone's appearance. However, names are processed differently and require more effort to recall. This is why we often forget names but can remember faces with ease. 31. Your brain can process emotions faster than thoughts. Emotions are processed more quickly than thoughts in the brain. When something triggers an emotional reaction, the brain responds instantly, sometimes before you even have time to think about it. This rapid response system is useful for survival, as it allows humans to react to danger or threat without hesitation. The speed of emotional processing is why we can feel something strongly even before we have a logical explanation for it. 32. People are more likely to help you when you make a direct request. If you want help, asking directly is much more effective than simply hinting at your need. This is because people are more likely to help when they clearly understand what is being asked of them. The brain prefers direct, explicit requests, and when it feels confident in how to respond, people are more likely to lend a hand. This is why specific requests for help tend to yield better results than vague or indirect hints. 33. Your brain tends to overestimate the likelihood of negative events. Due to the brain's survival instinct, it tends to overestimate the likelihood of negative events. This leads to unnecessary worry and anxiety, as the brain is wired to predict danger. For example, if you're walking alone at night, your brain may focus on the potential for something bad to happen, even though the actual risk is low. This overestimation of danger can lead to stress and avoidance behaviors, even when the threat is minimal. 34. People remember negative feedback more than positive feedback. Negative feedback tends to stick in your memory far longer than positive comments. This is another result of the brain's survival mechanism, where we are more attuned to threats than rewards. While praise can make us feel good in the moment, criticism can have a lasting impact on our emotions and self-esteem. This is why people often remember a harsh comment from years ago more clearly than compliments they received more recently. 35. Your body language can change your emotional state. The way you hold your body can influence your emotions. If you adopt a power pose, standing tall with your chest out and your arms wide, your brain releases chemicals that make you feel more confident and in control. On the other hand, slumping or crossing your arms can make you feel closed off or insecure. By adjusting your body language, you can actively change how you feel, helping you perform better in challenging situations. 36. The brain craves novelty. The human brain is constantly seeking new experiences and challenges. This drive for novelty is why we feel excitement when trying something new or exploring unfamiliar places. Dopamine, the brain's pleasure chemical, is released when we encounter new and interesting stimuli, reinforcing our desire for novelty. This craving can drive us to pursue new hobbies, travel to new destinations, and seek out fresh experiences, keeping life exciting and fulfilling. 37. People often misjudge their own abilities. Many people tend to overestimate their skills, especially in areas where they lack experience or expertise. This phenomenon is known as the Dunning-Kruger effect. Essentially, people who know the least about a subject are often the most confident about their abilities. In contrast, experts in a field tend to doubt their abilities because they are more aware of the complexity involved. This bias can lead to poor decision-making and missed opportunities. 38. Your memory improves with sleep. Sleep plays a crucial role in memory consolidation. During sleep, the brain organizes and stores memories, making it easier to recall information the next day. Without enough sleep, the brain can't properly process and store memories, leading to forgetfulness and cognitive decline. That's why getting a good night's rest is essential for learning and retaining new information. 39. Social media can make you feel like you're missing out. The constant exposure to others' highlight reels on social media can create a feeling of inadequacy, known as FOMO, fear of missing out. When you see others living what appear to be exciting, glamorous lives, it can trigger feelings of jealousy and discontent. However, it's important to remember that what people post online is often curated and doesn't show the full picture. Social media can create an illusion that everyone else is doing better than you, when in reality, everyone has their own struggles. 40. People are more likely to remember emotional events. The brain is particularly good at storing memories that are tied to strong emotions. Whether it's a moment of joy, sadness, fear, or love, emotional events are stored more deeply in the brain, making them easier to recall. This is why certain memories, those filled with emotion, stick with you for a lifetime, while neutral or mundane events fade away.
The human heart is a map of contradictions, full of desires, fears, and silent wounds. These truths reveal the emotional landscape behind human behavior, the quiet battles we fight with ourselves, and the invisible threads that connect us to others. You don't just fall in love with a person, you fall in love with the way they make you feel about yourself. When you fall for someone, it's not just their smile, their kindness, or their looks that captivate you. It's how they make you feel when they're around, seen, understood, validated. People don't just want love. They want the reflection of themselves they feel they lack. That's why losing someone feels like losing a piece of who you thought you were. Love becomes the mirror where we finally see ourselves as enough. 2. You're more afraid of being rejected by someone you truly care about than anyone else. When it's someone you truly love, rejection feels like an emotional wound that doesn't heal. The fear isn't of being alone, it's of being invisible to the one person you crave most. Your mind can accept rejection from a stranger, but it can't process it from someone who carries your heart. That's why we often hide our true feelings. Because to be vulnerable with someone you care about means risking that they might not feel the same. And that can feel like being erased. 3. The pain you feel when you lose someone isn't just emotional. It's physical. When you lose someone you love, the brain registers that loss just like physical pain. The emotional agony of a breakup or betrayal lights up the same parts of the brain that process physical injury. That's why heartbreak feels like it's crushing you, why your chest aches and your energy drains. The body doesn't know the difference between the loss of a person and the loss of a limb. It just knows that something essential is gone, and it has to process that as a wound. 4. You can't control who you love, but you can control how you love them. Love is an instinct, not a choice. Who we fall for is shaped by chemistry, timing, and subconscious patterns we may not even be aware of. But how we love them is entirely within our control. You can choose to love someone with kindness, respect, and patience, or with fear, jealousy, and defensiveness. The act of loving is a decision that goes beyond feelings. It's an intention you nurture each day, no matter the circumstances. True love isn't just a feeling, it's a practice. 5. The person who shows you your wounds isn't necessarily the one who can heal them. Sometimes, the person who brings your old pain to the surface isn't the one who's capable of fixing it. They may unknowingly trigger your deepest fears, insecurities, or unresolved trauma. But healing doesn't come from fixing the wound they opened. It comes from addressing the wound itself. True healing begins when you stop expecting others to repair what only you can. Mend. The right person won't just trigger your wounds. They'll help you build the strength to heal them. 6. Some people will leave you, not because they don't love you, but because they can't be who you need them to be. Love isn't always enough to keep people together. Sometimes, The love is real, but the ability to give you the emotional space or security you need isn't there. It's not that they don't love you. It's that they can't meet the unspoken expectations that come with being in a relationship. Love becomes suffocating when one person feels unable to give what the other needs. And sometimes, walking away is the only way they can give you space to grow. 7. Feeling too much isn't weakness. It's a sign of a heart that's lived. Emotions aren't something to suppress. They're not signs of weakness or instability. They're proof of a heart that feels deeply. The people who are called too sensitive are often the ones who have lived fully. Those who have felt pain, joy, heartbreak, and hope in ways others can't understand. Feeling deeply means you have the capacity to experience life in all its intensity. And while it can be overwhelming at times, it's also what makes you alive. 8. You can't fix someone who's not ready to be fixed. No matter how much you love them, no matter how many times you try to fix them, you cannot heal someone who's not ready to be healed. Healing takes self-awareness, acceptance, and a willingness to change. Until the person realizes they need to make a change, all the love you give will only go so far. You can be a witness to their growth, but you cannot be the catalyst unless they're open to it. Love isn't about changing someone. It's about accepting them as they are, while offering them the space to evolve on their own. 9. Sometimes, the hardest part of letting go is letting go of the idea of them. We often hold on to the idea of someone far longer than we hold on to the person they've actually become. You grieve not just the relationship, but the version of them you imagined in your mind. It's the life you dreamed of together, the future that never came. The hardest part of moving on isn't saying goodbye to them. It's accepting that the person you thought they were will never exist again. That's when true healing begins. When you stop chasing an illusion and accept the truth. 10. You're not afraid of love. You're afraid of losing it. The true fear of love isn't that it will break you. It's that you'll lose it before you've had the chance to hold on to it long enough. People who push love away aren't afraid of being loved. They're afraid of loving and then watching it slip through their fingers. Fear of abandonment is rooted in the belief that you're not worthy of lasting love. The real work isn't in the giving. It's in the receiving and learning to trust that the love will stay, even when it's hard. 11. The most powerful form of love is the one you have for yourself. Loving yourself isn't a cliche. It's the most powerful form of love because it sets the standard for how you allow others to treat you. Self-love isn't about arrogance. It's about respect and boundaries. When you know your worth, you stop accepting what doesn't serve you. You demand what you deserve because you've already given it to yourself. That's the foundation for every other relationship you'll ever have. Self-love isn't selfish. It's essential for every meaningful connection in your life. 12. The most beautiful relationships are built on truth, not perfection. Perfection is a myth that will suffocate any relationship. The beauty of love comes not in flawless moments, but in real, raw connections that are built on truth. When you allow yourself to be seen, flaws, fears, desires, and all, you create a bond that is truly unbreakable. Relationships are strongest when both people show up as they are, vulnerable and imperfect. Perfection is an illusion, but authenticity is the glue that holds lasting relationships together. 13. No one has the power to destroy you unless you give them that power. People can hurt you, yes, but they can only break you if you allow them access to the parts of you that are still healing. Emotional strength doesn't come from avoiding pain, but from learning to heal from it. No one has the right to decide your worth unless you let them. The moment you reclaim your self-worth, you realize that no one, no matter how much they've hurt you, can ever take away your power again. 14. You will never be fully healed until you learn to let go of what hurts you. Healing is a choice. It isn't something that just happens with time. You have to make the conscious decision to let go of what's holding you back. Old wounds, old anger, old guilt. You have to stop waiting for someone else to apologize or make things right. Healing happens when you forgive, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve it. Only when you let go of what hurts you can you move forward into the peace that awaits you. 15. Sometimes, the love you gave them was the love you needed to give yourself. Often, the care, kindness, and patience we give to others is the love we haven't yet given ourselves. We give to others what we wish we had received growing up or what we're too afraid to offer ourselves. Healing means learning to turn that love inward, to be the source of the kindness and compassion we've so freely given away. When you start loving yourself in the way you love others, you stop searching for love from external sources and realize it's always been within you. 16. You don't heal the pain by avoiding it. You heal it by facing it fully. Most of us spend our lives avoiding discomfort. We bury it under distractions, alcohol, work, and busyness. But true healing happens when you stop running from the pain. The more you try to outrun your hurt, the stronger it becomes, festering in places you can't see. Healing isn't about making the pain go away. It's about sitting with it long enough to understand it, to let it teach you what it has to offer. Only when you allow yourself to truly feel the pain will it finally lose its grip on you. 17. You don't lose people because you're not enough. You lose people because they were never capable of seeing your worth. When someone walks away from you, it's easy to feel like you weren't enough. But the truth is, not everyone is capable of appreciating the depth of your heart. Some people can't see your value because they're too distracted by their own insecurities or unhealed wounds. It's not a reflection of you, but of their inability to recognize what's truly valuable. You never lose because you're not enough. You lose because they didn't have the capacity to see your light. 18. Sometimes, the more you give, the less they appreciate it. Love isn't about how much you give, it's about how it's received. People who are used to taking without giving back often don't recognize the sacrifice. The more you pour into them, the less they see the effort, and the more they take it for granted. You're not giving to be seen. You're giving to express love. But at some point, you must realize that self-love means setting boundaries and protecting your energy, not giving until you're empty. True love doesn't drain you. It fills you. 19. It's not that you're not good enough. It's that you've been told you're not good enough for so long you started to believe it. The voices of our past, parents, teachers, bullies, past relationships, often echo through our minds, planting seeds of self-doubt. Over time, these voices become our own. We start to believe we aren't worthy of success, love, or happiness. But that's not truth. It's conditioning. Healing means challenging those beliefs every day, reminding yourself that you are more than what you've been told you are. You are the sum of your dreams, not your past. 20. Sometimes the most courageous thing you can do is walk away from what you've known. We often stay in situations, relationships, jobs, friendships, because they're familiar, not because they serve us. Fear keeps us tethered to the known, even when it's toxic. But true courage isn't staying. It's leaving the comfort of what's familiar to chase what's better for you. Walking away doesn't mean giving up. It means choosing your own peace over your past, your growth over your comfort. 21. You can be strong and still need someone to lean on. Strength isn't about never needing help. It's about knowing when to ask for it. The most resilient people aren't those who bear every burden alone. They're the ones who know that true strength comes from vulnerability. It's okay to lean on others, to allow them to lift you up when you've been carrying too much. Healing happens in connection, not isolation. The strongest people know they don't have to be strong all the time. 22. Sometimes the people who hurt you the most are the ones who loved you first. There's a strange truth about love. Sometimes the people who can hurt you the most are the ones who have loved you the most. They hold the power to break you because they've held the power to make you feel seen. When love is real, it feels like a tether, a bond, and when that bond breaks, it's shattering. But healing from love's betrayal means realizing that the hurt doesn't diminish the truth of what you shared. You were loved deeply, and now you must learn to love yourself just as deeply to heal. 23. You won't know what you're capable of until you're forced to face your darkest moments. We all have a breaking point, and it's in those moments when the world feels like it's collapsing that we learn the true depth of our strength. You won't know what you're capable of until you're forced to survive what you thought would destroy you. Those moments, though painful, are what shape the person you become. They're not the end of your story. They're the beginning of discovering who you really are. 24. Feeling lost isn't a sign of failure. It's a sign that you're open to finding yourself again. There's a kind of beauty in being lost, because it means you're ready to find something new. Being lost doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're open to growth. The hardest part of change isn't the uncertainty. It's the willingness to let go of the person you were in order to become someone better. So when you feel lost, don't rush to find your way. Take the time to reflect, to breathe, and to let the journey reveal itself in its own time. 25. Sometimes the love you've been searching for is the love you haven't given yourself yet. We search for love in others, thinking that someone else can complete us. But the truth is, the love we seek is the love we need to give ourselves first. When you stop searching for validation from others and start validating yourself, you become a magnet for the love you've always wanted. True self-love isn't selfish. It's the foundation upon which every other relationship in your life is built. 26. You won't find peace until you're willing to let go of what's keeping you anxious. Peace doesn't come from a perfect life. It comes from the ability to release control. Anxiety comes from the illusion that you can control everything, from trying to predict what will happen next, from overthinking every choice. Peace comes when you realize that not everything is yours to control. The hardest part is letting go of the need to be certain about everything. Once you do, peace will find you, quiet and unexpected. 27. The people who love you the most often hurt you the most because they feel you deeply. Love makes people vulnerable. The more deeply someone feels for you, the more sensitive they become to your words, your actions, your absence. The ones who love you the most are often the ones who hurt the most, because their love is tied to their deepest fears. When you understand this, you start to approach them with more care, knowing that love isn't just an exchange, it's a deep feeling, and it can be as painful as it is beautiful. 28. Sometimes the people who don't speak up the most are the ones who notice everything. The quiet ones often have the sharpest eyes and the deepest hearts. They don't speak often, but they're always observing. Their silence isn't emptiness, it's processing. They notice things that others miss. The subtle shifts in tone, the quiet gestures, the hidden truths. Their stillness is a powerful form of awareness. When they do speak, it's usually because they've gathered enough to say something truly worth listening to. 29. You can heal, but you'll never be the same again. And that's okay. Healing isn't about returning to the person you once were. It's about becoming the person you were always meant to be, even if that person has scars. Pain changes you. It molds you, but it doesn't destroy you. Healing means accepting that the person you were before the pain wasn't who you were meant to be. The person you are now, with all your wounds, is stronger and more resilient than you've ever been. 30. Love can be both the most beautiful and most painful thing you experience. Love is everything, but it isn't always easy. It will lift you higher than you've ever been, but it will also break you in ways you never saw coming. But without love, life feels incomplete. It's the raw, messy, uncontainable force that makes you feel alive. And the pain that comes with it is just a reminder that you were brave enough to feel it all. Healing comes when you realize that the pain and the beauty were both part of the same journey